any good acting has behavior with it.
Nate, why? Why such bitterness? What have I done to you? Get out! You're no nephew of mine. As far as I'm concerned, you're as dead as that wretch Cermak.
You have to embellish the words with a certain amount of gravity. Because we're talking about things that are really important here that are kind of secret. There's a natural kind of darkness when you talk about noir. You know, it's great. I love it.
Well, greetings, Imagination Connoisseurs. Laser Bob from 87 coming at you. And now here's me coming at you from 2026. Time travel. Not like Tenet, which isn't really time travel, which I heard Christopher Nolan tell me just last night on some video. Anyway, we'll get into that. It's the finals of the World Cup today, Argentina and Spain. That's a lot of Spanish-speaking people all at once. Anyway, we're going to hear from our friends about that, I'm sure, later. But you know who you're going to hear from today, right now? The man of the hour. The man you love. The man who comes from a town in Germany I'd never heard of till I met this man. All the way from Saarbrücken, Deutschland, it's DIETER Bastian.
And Rob, I have to say, he told me he had to go to a birthday party, so we start the show earlier, but we all know he wants to watch the final too. And I say, greetings, Imagination Connoisseurs, DIETER here I am, Rocky Like Ergen, and welcome to the B&B Motel for Let's Get Physical Media. We are an hour earlier, so let's get right into it, into our Odyssey journey of physical media. But Rob, I hear a movie called The Odyssey has opened this week, which I have watched yesterday, Rob, but don't tell Thomas Logan about it. I watched it in the clipped version, you know. He will be furious if he hears about that, you know. So
Thomas Logan will be furious.
Rob, yeah. I've seen The Odyssey, Rob, yesterday. And I have to say, like you said, the online discussion is a little bit silly. For me, it was a terrific journey, a little bit wonky at the starting point for me to get into it. And of course, I was thinking about the technical aspects. Do I need to see more sky here? Yeah, could be good, could be nothing, okay? But as soon as you are locked in the movie, you don't think about the technical aspects of the movie at all. And for me, considering Chris Gore said he had problems with the colors, I thought the colors were terrific for the movie. Very natural colors. It looked great. The sound was, of course, for me it was fine. I had no big problems considering hearing dialogue or voices. And for me, the movie totally delivered on what we know Nolan does. And I think, Rob, Christopher Nolan is perhaps for me at least, Rob, the perfect example when we always discuss objectivity and subjectivity. Because objectively, all his movies, I think, are well made. All his movies.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look.
Subjectivity, you can say, like this one more than that. But objectively, all his movies, I think, are great. Great from the craftsmanship.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that's part of my ongoing discussion with people about, I think that there is objectivity and subject. Our opinions of art are subjective, but as somebody put it, one of our viewers put it, why do you think people practice on an instrument? Because they want to get objectively great playing it. And I would say that Christopher Nolan, from a technical verisimilitudinal point of view, is quite a craftsman. I think my personal estimation, I have loved a lot of Christopher Nolan's movies. I think the last three, I think that Dunkirk, Oppenheimer, and now The Odyssey are as much intellectual exercises as they are cinematic exercises. And in a way, there's some places where they fall short for me. Not because of the adaptation of The Odyssey, but he has a very clinical, sort of dispassionate, objective way of looking at something. And I found What's interesting to me is that all of cinema history has a long tradition of how antiquity has been presented. Whether it's Ben-Hur, whether it's Gladiator, whether it's Clash of the Titans, Lord of the Rings, there's a way of doing something that we're used to. Christopher Nolan strips all that away. I can see what he was doing. He was taking away. Now, you could say that, the accents took me out of it, and I would say that's because you're used to seeing things that those are all in the world that he sets up. There's not really much that would make you think to yourself, like if I'm watching a movie that's set in Moscow and everybody was talking, like I think it's interesting that there's two movies that I hark back to, Bryan Singer's Valkyrie and Hunt for Red October. In Valkyrie, Bryan just let everybody, and in Star City recently, everybody's just talking with their normal accents. They're not, to me, if everyone's trying to do a Russian accent in Star City, then it would get weird. And so it's, I'm used to attuning myself to whatever it is that I'm watching, so none of that really bothered me. But I quite enjoyed the film, and it made me want to go back and reread the Odyssey again, multiple different translations of it, because suddenly everyone's a Homeric scholar online. I'm like, you people, you know what? Up until Christopher Nolan announced the Odyssey, and more recently, not up until the last 3 or 4 months, did anybody think about Homer's The Odyssey? I'm sorry. Nobody gives a fuck. And now all of a sudden, it's part of the culture war. And I can't stand that, because it's as disingenuous as the DEI insertions that BlackRock and Vanguard were demanding their corporations give us in entertainment. I look at Star Trek and I'm like, all of these inserts and the things that they did were progressive, tropey, weird things that they were just injecting to make everybody happy. And that to me is fraudulent storytelling. But what was going on here was one man making creative decisions that were unto himself. So there's something different. And whether he was trying to appease certain DEI gods or he wanted to appease the Academy by making his film more Oscar worthy, that's up for debate. But Christopher Nolan's not the kind of guy that he gets to make whatever movies he wants. He's earned that. And you have to look at the films. You can't apply the rest of the world to Christopher Nolan, because Christopher Nolan is a singular dude, and he's doing whatever the hell he wants. He's very much like Kubrick in that way. Yeah. So,
why I would have loved, Rob, to see a movie with complete unknowns in the cast, or mostly unknowns. I get it. When you spend $250 million, you can't have mostly unknowns in the movie. So I get that point. And some people are even saying they would have loved to see, movies with subtitles. When you spend this much money, not really doable. Not really doable. Because a lot of people would not like to read subtitles when they're promoting the movie with the visual feast that IMAX and 70mm gets them. To then read subtitles, that would not have fly either. But for me, minor nitpicks, a little bit with the pacing, a little bit with the action here and there, and a little bit with the casting, but not much that would throw me off the movie. And I was actually quite surprised, Rob. I don't know if you thought the same, John Leguizamo, because when you would have told me you're doing the Odyssey and you cast him, I would say, really? But he quite surprised me, actually, in the movie.
Oh, I thought he was great. Yeah.
Yeah, and he has a pretty meaty role, actually. And considering the casting criticisms, beyond Anne Hathaway, Tom Holland, and Matt Damon, and perhaps Robert Pattinson, every other actor has really actually a very small role, because I think the main cast is actually Matt Damon and his crew that he sails out on the ship with through the different places. So for me, Rob, really with the first watching, had a terrific time, and I will probably go to Karlsruhe so that Thomas Logan will be friendly again with me to watch it in the at least correct aspect ratio. Because of the only thing that I did or said to myself, okay, when I watch the clip version, I will not be paying for it. So here's my stop. I don't know if I can make this visible. So I paid zero
Here,
dollars.
I'll go full.
yesterday.
Go put it up again, full frame.
Yeah.
So
So I put
no, get it. Yeah, pull it back. There you go. Pull it back a little.
zero.
Okay.
So I put. Wait, I must switch it here. Wait. So here. Zero.
Well,
$0, Rob. So I put $0 into the box office. So it must have flopped this weekend, Rob. Can you tell me some numbers already, Rob? We are an hour earlier.
I can. Yeah. The
Okay.
Odyssey. Let's see. Well, here Anthony D'Alessandro, 8:13 this morning, delivered this to
Go
deadline.
back to Europe. Or the both of us.
Yes, pardon me. Why don't I go back to the two of us? Anthony D'Alessandro says the Odyssey slays with 124 million U.S. opening. It's got an A cinema score. It's the best live-action haul of 2026. It is a record for Matt Damon as a lead. I'll read more about this. Universal's Christopher Nolan, The Odyssey, had a great hold on Saturday. It made $41.66 million. It was only 17% off Friday in previews, taking its overall weekend to $124.5 million, which breaks a slew of records we've been telling you about over the weekend, including best domestic start year-to-date for a movie, best ever opening for Matt Damon, the opening for a Universal R-rated movie, Nolan's third best debut behind the two Batman movies, Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises, or actually Dark Knight Rises and Dark Knight, the fourth best R-rated opening after Deadpool and Wolverine, Deadpool and Deadpool 2. Ent Intelligence reports that 7.5 million people watched The Odyssey in North America versus 5.9 for Oppenheimer. Average ticket prices for The Odyssey were general at $15.32 versus Oppenheimer's $13.44. And then global so far is 264.1 million, which, as we told you yesterday, is the biggest worldwide opening for Nolan, ahead of The Dark Knight Rises, which opened with 249 million worldwide. International's 139.6 million start in 73 markets, 12,700 locations, and 25,600 screens. Is also the biggest foreign debut for Nolan. It's Universal's biggest ever opening in 11 markets and the biggest ever opening for Nolan in 48 markets, including France, Italy, India, Spain, Brazil, the Netherlands, and Poland. Exclaimed Universal's domestic distribution boss this morning, incredibly rewarding to see the palpable excitement in theaters this weekend for the release of The Odyssey. Once again, Christopher Nolan has crafted an epic adventure on a scale rarely seen, as audiences respond with not only tremendous results at the box office, but with reactions to the film that are beyond stellar. And the movie played everywhere, even in smaller markets.
Okay.
It's interesting. Thomas Logan can say what he wants, but there's only 40 locations on Earth where this movie can play in 70 millimeter, 15 per 70, and one of those broke down. And it's weird. So you seeing a movie in a certain format, especially the format it was shot in, is always a good thing, because you're getting the true experience. But a lot of people, a movie's got to play the way a movie's got to play, and watching a movie play out on different formats and where is it going to live 50 years from now, it's always interesting to see. And I've been hearing a lot of people talk about all these Homeric scholars that I suddenly have in my feeds. I didn't know everybody was so into Homer, but the way I kind of was thinking about this when I was watching it is it reminded me of watching The Shining. I mean, when I was a kid, I was a huge Stephen King fan, huge Stephen King purist. And when I watched The Shining for the first time, Stanley Kubrick is my favorite director of all time. And I didn't know Kubrick as much when I watched The Shining the first time, but I knew the book. And when I saw The Shining, the movie, it's very different from the book. And I was wondering, how could you read The Shining and make the movie that Kubrick made? And so that was a question that I've always asked myself when I've watched adaptations. David Lynch's Dune, for instance. There are plenty of instances where books are very different than the source material or movies are very different from the source material they adapt. And so the interesting thing to me is always what is the essence of the story that a director was attracted to? And I think that's a question that's going to be debated in the media for a long time to come. And what I love about it is that a movie has people talking.
Yeah.
about the film, you know, and you cannot deny the artistry that was put into making the movie. And so, by the
Not at
way,
all.
our number 2 film was Moana.
Yeah.
It made
Oh, okay.
19 million, and it's up to 92 million or 82 million domestic. Toy Story 5 was number 3 with a total domestic cum of 430.9 million. Minions and
Holy
Monsters is up to 137.5 million at number 4. Evil Dead Burn was down 64% and has 24.1 million in its coffers. The Invite, A24 has gotta love this. It's up to 15 million. Young Washington, big hit for Angel Studios, 41 million. Curry Barker's Obsession, which, by the way, they delayed my Blu-ray, has now made 258.4 million domestic. Supergirl is at 69.9 million. What a disaster. Disclosure Day at number 10 is at 114.7 million for week 6.
Yeah.
So there's the domestic box office deets.
Like we always say, Rob, the minions are clinging in there, you know? They're always clinging in there, and then they will get their money later.
It's true.
And do you know, Rob, what favorite shot Christopher Nolan mentioned for the Odyssey? For him personally, is his favorite shot in the Odyssey?
No.
The scene with the dolphins, because that was not planned.
Oh,
you know,
well that's
when they were on the ship and then the dolphins came. He said his favorite shot in the movie, not planned at all. You know, not the Cyclops, not the other stuff. You know, and the funny thing here, I totally forgot the funny thing, Rob. The movie is rated R in the States. There's a 15 in the UK, 15. So, Rob, what age would you give it in Germany? We have 6, 12, 16, 18. What rating would you give
12
in Germany? Exactly, Rob. It is for the ages of 12. And I saw the movie. Yeah, sure. That is a 12 movie with all the nice horrific stuff that is in the movie.
Oh, and well,
so even I would have gone 16, Rob, but that's the FSK, you know.
Well, no, as Nolan's movies go, his movies are essentially bloodless. And, you have the Cyclops eating people. And where's the grue? Where's the gore? There really isn't a lot of it, you know. And he did that with The Dark Knight as well. You know, he couldn't show people are getting gunned down with machine guns in the beginning of that movie. And he certainly doesn't linger on any of that. So... because he couldn't get an R rating if you're having blood squibs everywhere.
But for me, Rob, the stuff with the sorceress, you know, I was a little reminded of Brian Usner movie, you know, Society, actually.
Oh yeah, well that
for me the 12 was a little bit okay at the frontier. Okay, I will let it slide, but. From my perspective, it would have been a 16, Rob, if I would have worked for the FSK. Okay, Rob. So, for me, if you don't have an IMAX in the near vicinity, the 39:1 version still works. So, on the other hand, Rob, finally, I've seen it this week because it came out digitally. I caught up with the Backrooms, and I decided put up the Japanese poster because, Rob, you probably would think that too. It is a great double feature with Exit 8 for me.
It is a great double feature.
Backrooms, almost a perfect double feature. And I had a great time with Backrooms. And I have actually, Rob, I have no favorite considering Obsessions or Backrooms. I like them both equally, totally different movies. And what I love about Backrooms, Rob, is just simple stuff. Or how would I react to stuff? When he goes for the first time through the wall, my immediate fear is, can I go back? You know? And he does that. He checks, okay, I can go back.
Right.
And then he starts exploring. For me, this was a total first reaction that I would have. Can I go back? And then he starts exploring. And what I loved too is when he got back a second time, it was still the same. I was not aware how the backrooms would work, that they would not be shifting around, you know. It was the same location. You had all the furniture lying there. I thought, oh, this is great too. It's still the same as he found it as the first time. So for me, backrooms really did deliver, actually. And it was great, I would say, that you didn't have to see the web series for it. So
No,
because I was
although
not aware of it.
It's very, especially you can go back and watch years of Kane Parsons, Kane Pixel's work on the Backroom series, because it's all there and it's really interesting. It works really, and yet, the movie works in the context of the film. Yeah. I mean, in the context.
And he had really great actors in Jewel Ejiofor and Renata. So for me, Backrooms totally on the same level, like Obsessions, just with a different setting. And it's nice to see that such small movies became such big hits.
Oh, it's great for the business.
Yeah. And then, of course, Rob, considering, as your friend Chris Gore would say, a movie diet, you know, after all this goodness, and we have summertime, I decided to watch a shark movie, Rob. It's called The Bay.
You watched a shark movie?
Yeah.
No.
I watched The Bay, Rob, with Francesca Eastwood. And what can I say, Rob? It's another entry, a disappointing one. Oh. Like I always say, Rob, to you, how hard can it be? If you have the first kill, Rob, after 50 minutes in an 80-minute movie, you're doing something wrong. You're doing something wrong here. And for me, Rob, as I always tell you, the kill counter, you know, they went out on a boat with 4 people. And I was thinking, only 4 people? Only 4 people. So one will probably survive. So what I will get now are 3 kills. Okay. But there are some positives for the movie. I didn't see any green screen. There were nice locations that they filmed in. They filmed in Hawaii, I believe. So that was a big plus. And they shifted a little bit from the sharks being, you know, the slasher, the murderer, more to people fighting for their lives against themselves. So there was a nice component where you could have a nice revenge thriller, because one of the 2 dudes escapes, murders one of the girls. Actually, so one kill was actually a murder, Rob, not even done by the sharks. So it has some nice things that could have worked for being a great, actually, movie. But unfortunately, it was a little bit funny when it didn't actually want it to be funny. So I actually cannot recommend The Bay. Even I have to say, the poster looks cool. Welcome to Paradise. The poster looks cool. Okay, this was the stuff that I have seen digital.
Well, you want to jump into your physical media? We'll start.
Yeah, because we shot. Just quick, Rob, considering movies I've seen, because you probably wanted to know about it. I saw The School Jewel that I showed.
How was that?
Last week. This is a nice dystopian setting, Rob. It is completely in black and white. There's only one scene that is in color. The movie is from the format almost Obsession-like, so 1:50 to 1. This is a feature debut from a director. Had a great time, but don't expect a dystopian future with a high budget. You know, it plays in Florida. Gun control is outlawed, so everyone is carrying a gun around. School shooting at a high point, and the governor had the nice idea to do the school duel. But we mostly follow the teenager Sammy, who is totally thrilled to be in the school duel. It's totally from your own. You have to choose to taking part in this school duel. So really nice dystopian future, but you have to watch it at scale, as you would say, Rob. You know?
Sure.
Watch it at scale. So really, really nice dystopian future. And since we were on shark movies, Rob, I have not gotten around to it. but of course, I got Rennie's Deep Water, which came, but I have not seen it. But it has to be better, at least as the Bay. It has to be, Rob. The Deep Water.
It doesn't.
Then
Does it have to be
I
better?
hope so, Rob. I hope so. You haven't seen the Bay, so I hope it will be better. From Arrow, one I'm really looking forward to watching it again. Falling Down from Arrow, and I hear great things about transfer. The only drawback here is a little bit considering reversible cover artwork. I switched it, but there's actually not a reversible cover artwork. This is actually the inside, but I used it nevertheless because they don't have a transparent case in this instant. Which
Well,
would have
I would
been
say that
actually
I too
Oh,
got
nice.
Falling Down, and I have it in my one of my sleeves. I love my 4K sleeves. I honestly haven't even. I mean, I took the cellophane off, but I haven't even opened the disc. So let's do that now.
But often you find there's a different cover artwork they are used or
No, there's no. You're right.
yeah, exactly, Rob. It's the same as the O-ring, but I decided nevertheless to change it against the one.
Oh, you've convinced me. You've convinced me. I'm doing that.
Because you still have the slip.
This is another. Warner Brothers had put this out on Blu-ray as a media book. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Do you have the media book? They put it out as a media book. And this was directed by Joel Schumacher. A lot of people think it's one of Joel Schumacher's best films. It's certainly an incredible performance by Michael Douglas. I really like this movie. It's held up well. It has not lost any of its power. Robert Duvall is great in this movie, and I also think this is a really great LA movie. Having lived in,
which we rarely get these days, Rob.
We really don't. I mean, it used to. And speaking of, there's another LA movie I want to talk about that I got from Arrow this week too.
Okay, then show me.
Would you like me to show you?
Yeah.
Well, you know what it is.
Then go full frame to show the people what you've got for probably the 8th or 9th or 10th time. So even more than the Hunger Games.
Okay. I had to get the Arrow to Live and Die in LA Blu-ray. Now you might ask, why, Rob? Do you have to have yet another? Like, there's a media book coming out of this that I have to buy too. From I don't know where it's from, but but one of the things, Stephen Bjork over at first of all, they did a little tweaking on the movie.
Oh, okay.
Arrow did a little bit of tweaking, and this is the best this has ever looked. Now, Stephen Bjork over at the Digital Bits did review this, and in the beginning, over the opening credits, they did tweak color on some of the shots. They added a little bit more red, but never, because this has really, really bright titles, and on my OLED, which I do have I have my OLED balanced exactly the way I want it to look, but it is overcranked. I'll tell everybody that I started when I was adjusting it from an overcranked perspective. It's bright just because I kind of enjoy that, and but it's calibrated properly to a brighter overall setting. This looks unbelievable. But the big surprise on this is the 2-channel audio. Because it is punchy AF. If you want the version
Didn't expect it.
Yeah, well, and then Stephen Bjork said I didn't realize I'd already ordered this, to be honest. Come on, who are we kidding?
Yeah.
And to get this, this is dope. I mean, I'm like, wow, this is really something special. So, and of course, this does have the reversible cover. It's got the normal.
Yeah.
I mean, you people have seen me show this disc so many times. I don't feel the need to show it again. But again, Falling Down is another great result of the deal that George Feltenstein brokered these deals. Arrow is slaying these Warner titles. The MGM titles too. They're just killing it. I mean, Arrow's output this year whether it was Excalibur or all Ninja Turtles, they're just doing crazy good work. And of course, some people have already received their Soylent Greens, which is another Warner title.
Ooh, okay,
Can't
nice.
wait to get Soylent Green. We got Logan's Run coming, and then Tequila Sunrise is coming. To get Tequila Sunrise and To Live and Die in LA from Arrow in 4K, oh, happy days, because that Tequila Sunrise Blu-ray blows. And I am a Tequila Sunrise acolyte. I can't wait to get Tequila Sunrise. I can't wait I can't wait to see Raul Julia say, "You fuck like a world champion" on 4K. Let me just tell you, I cannot wait.
I would assume,
buddy.
Rob, the old Tequila Sunrise Blu-ray was perhaps from an old HD DVD master.
Yeah, it was shitty.
It
was shitty.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm going back to you, Dietz.
Okay. Next one. In the Schnäppchen section for Criterion, even if I bought it back in the day from Italy, but finally, or for longest time now, it's out in the States as well, from Martin Scorsese, Killers of the Flower Moon, the 4K Digipack. So we've got 4K, the Blu-ray, and the bonus features. It's the whole back, and it comes, of course, not with the fold-out, because this is a bigger booklet than usual for Criterion for the movie. So I got this in the 50% off deal, Killers of the Flower Moon, as a digipack. Then this one, shiny, Rob, shiny. Even if I had to pay a nice custom tax actually, but I don't mind it because I love the movie. I've got the Fire and Ice from Blue Underground.
Oh, nice. Ooh, that's a shiny
This
cover.
their
Dude. You weren't kidding.
It's their new 4K edition of the movie with the Dolby Atmos track, but I haven't checked it. How it fares. But I love the movie, like you said, like the old Molly Hedgett covers. We have the 4K and the soundtrack CD and the Blu-ray. And here's just a list of the soundtrack titles. Because this is a movie, Rob, I remember seeing in theaters, and I actually watched it 2 times in a row.
Two times?
2 times, exactly. So Fire and Ice from Blue Underground, which I think you have to order from their shop themselves, I believe. So Fire and Ice. And luckily, for me, Rob, they did send internationally. Then, further with the steelbooks, even if we bought the movie probably 1,000 times, but I have to get the shiny Evil Dead steelbook, which comes with the nice back of ash. I have not seen the new one, and here we have all the ratings that you can get on an international disc.
Hilarious.
We got the 4K and the Blu-ray. Yeah, we got the German one, UK one. Everyone here is featured. So really nice one, and I think it has a Dolby Atmos track, but I could be wrong. Evil Dead Steelbook. Then, Rob, it was some time ago. I presented to you the Adventure Call set, considering
Oh, yeah. Those are
westerns
great.
that were then done in Germany. Because, Rob, I knew those westerns, but I didn't know this was great about the set. To learn about the 2 different production companies, their rival, to get the Karl May novels, the rights to them, and do something with them. So this was that one company. So, but I got the first one from the other company. Who
And
did
that's the
movies.
DIFA that's the DIFA box set, right?
No, that's not a Diva box set, Rob. Those were German productions, actually. This was the Arthur Brown company who did it.
Oh,
But the
okay.
other company was the Rialto company, who had a little bit, I believe, more success. And I put them in the basket, but I waited for a price drop. So I got actually part 2, but I will hope part 1 and 3 will be at one point price reduced too for a better price. But these are not just Blu-rays, these are 4Ks. So this is the first one that I bought. I bought Winnie 2 2 in 4K, you know, coffee and cake movies, Rob, from childhood memories. Look at the lovely lady here, you know, just as we imagine those old Western times were actually. And we had some international poster artwork here. And if we remove, Rob, the Blu-ray, look who shows up here. Crazy Klaus. Crazy Klaus is in the movie, you know. So I will get the other 2, 1 and 3, as soon as possible for a better price. You know, I will keep my eyes on the price because those are in 4K, and those were the Rialto production company who did those movies, and they were successful. And then Arthur Browner snapped away the last Karl May novels that were left over and did the other movies. So Winnetou 2, and the last 2, Rob, from my South Korean people. I love the Korean editions. I have not seen the movies. They came in yesterday. The first one, Rob, is probably perhaps your thing because you all love virus stuff. The movie is just called Virus, but it looks more, could be perhaps a comedy. Not seen it. So it's actually blind buy, and I just love when they do those limited stuff and they just put it here in those holographic signs here. So that looks fun, Rob. That looks fun. Virus. And I always love when they put the extra stuff here in it. Some cards. That's always nice to see. So totally blind buy for me, Rob. Virus is the first one, and the second one looks even more fun. It's called My Daughter is a Zombie, Rob. So it has a little bit holographic card here at the top.
Very nice.
Back. So My Daughter is a Zombie, and it's always nice that they don't put actually the movie poster here on. And like Virus, it's the same company actually who did that also. We have a little cat here. Comes with cards, 2 postcards and exclusive stuff that we're always putting in, which I thoroughly enjoy. They never let me down, even if they are not 4Ks, they're just Blu-rays. So this was actually my haul, Rob, for this week. I give it over to.
Well, I'll take over. First, I got some more eclectic stuff as well. I got a package from Super Deluxe Edition.
Ooh.
You know I like to get my Dolby Atmos albums and all that. First of all, I got something. This is not Super Deluxe Edition exclusive. This is Night at the Opera, Queen's Night at the Opera. Nice. That I don't think this is in Atmos, actually. I just didn't have it.
Okay.
And got them on sale.
But surely a 5.1 mix. Rob,
yeah. It's got many different mixes. Okay. I also got Jeff Buckley's Grace, which I had to get this as well. Yeah. Now, I don't know. I think this might just be Dolby Atmos. No, this is Atmos. It is Atmos. Yeah. This is in Atmos. Nice. I can't get enough of my Dolby Atmos mixes. Now, you're going to like this, Dietz. Do you recognize this?
Ooh, I have to say, unfortunately not, Rob. With the radioactive stuff? Okay.
It's
That's Super Deluxe Edition?
Yeah. No, it doesn't ring a bell?
No, unfortunately not, Rob.
Oh, it's too bad. It's Kraftwerk. Kraftwerk.
Oh, okay.
Kraftwerk in Dolby Atmos, dude. In Dolby Atmos. And, it's funny. I'm looking at this is radioactivity.
I more have that iconic image, Rob, of the red and black stuff when it comes to
radioactivity. Cling clang.
Not the yellow and black.
So anyway, looking forward to dipping into this. And
is this their first album, Rob? Help me out.
No.
Is this their first album or okay?
It's
Complete?
I might be. Is it their first album?
Okay.
It is in 75. So, to be honest, I'm not up on my Kraftwerk enough. I loved Kraftwerk when I was a kid, but I don't know their discography when things came out. So, but I don't know. But this is, early Kraftwerk, which is what I'm more familiar with. So, had to get that. And then, of course, the Piece de Resistance, as a big Brian Ferry fan. These are Super Deluxe Edition exclusives. They come slipcased. Roxy Music's Flesh and Blood. This is an incredible album. And I love when they do this. This is it's like a media book. It's not just a digipack. And then, they put
Oh, cool.
a booklet in there. Really, really well done. Unfortunately, these don't fit in my sleeves because they're too big. And then, of course, Brian Ferry's seminal album, Boys and Girls. Romantic. They've also got Taxi and Bête Noire coming out, but I don't know if I'm going to get those. Boys and Girls, and, of course, Roxy Music's Avalon, which is still one of the greatest make-out albums ever. The only problem is it's only a half an hour long, so to get where you're going, you have to listen to it 4 times. But, hey, it still works. So,
Rob, how is it considering the right situation with those music titles? Are they not under one company?
yeah, but they license them out because they only make a certain amount, and I think everybody
like Arrow licensed the Warner titles.
yeah, and but they're doing incredible. Their 50th release was Frankie Goes to Hollywood's Welcome to the Pleasure Dome. That was just insane. And now, Dietz, I'm gonna get a little dirty. Dirty. I got a full-on one of the holy trilogy of X-rated movies from my youth. And that was, of course, Deep Throat, Devil Miss Jones, and then Behind the Green Door, Marilyn Chambers. Now, we're talking, this is creme de la creme of 70s bush porn. I don't love this stuff as much as I like Radley Metzger or Henry Paris's stuff, but, this has all the taboo-breaking things. And when I was a 13-year-old, I got interracial, I got anal. I was like, I didn't know nothing. And these movies taught me a lot. And, what's really interesting about stuff like this is this disc, it's really well done. They have it's a 3-disc set. It comes with the soundtrack album.
Cool.
I know, right? And then there's a bunch of posters and booklets and history. And the second disc is special features. It's incredible. And
What company, Rob, did put that out?
well, this is it's a sister. First of all, I can't believe this movie's in 4K. First of all, you can see every hair. It's a good question. It's
So
just,
bizarre
I think the
sometimes.
Mitchell brothers who made this put it out themselves, but I got this through Vinegar Syndrome. Now, there's a few things. I have a few. I like 70s, 80s porn when they shifted to video. It's not, who cares? But this is when they tried to make stories. Well, this is not so much, but Devil Miss Jones is a straight up horror movie with sex. It's a straight up horror movie. But this is not so much that. But interesting stuff, captures an era. And then to add to that, I am now obsessed.
Was Behind the Green Door the biggest of the 3 movies that they put that on the front of the cover?
Well, it doesn't come with all 3. This is just Behind the Green Door. For me, the reason that I say that is I had made a tape when I worked in home video. I made a tape that had, in the 6-hour mode, it had Deep Throat, The Devil Miss Jones, and Behind the Green Door on it. All 3 movies were on this tape. And I loaned out this tape once when I was 16. It was sophomore in high school. I loaned the tape out, and it was something I didn't see the tape until I was a senior in high school. The tape was just
In the long play photos.
passed around, and when I got the tape back, it was radioactive. I threw it away. I was like, but for 3 years, it made the rounds. That was one played out VHS tape, let me tell you. But anyway, I buy these more for nostalgia purposes. But what I really wanted to get was, these are, I gotta say, Hisayasu Sato. Hisayasu Sato. These box sets, these are Japanese films. They're twisted crime thriller, borderline horror, some science fiction, and lots of sex. But they're great. And these sets, I mean, these are beautiful.
Okay.
There's 4 of them. I've got, so this is volume 2 and volume 3. I'm waiting for volume 4. But as you can see, I mean, these have like these really heavy card boxes.
Yeah. Well,
And the book, they come with great books, which I really can't. This is I can't really show anything in the books, but then they have slip cases, and I mean these are really, really, really great sets. I can't recommend them highly enough. And if you like Japanese girls, and let's face it, who doesn't? They're even doubly
it's
cool.
not one director. There are different directors.
No, it's the same director.
Same director.
Yeah, it's all of his movies.
All of them.
Hisayasu Sato.
Okay.
And these are all of his movies. And some of them are shot on video, but they're all very interesting. I did not know that who this director was. I'd never heard of him until I got the first volume. But these are fantastic. And, of course, they've got sex in them, which I'm puerile. What can I say? Then I did get a few things from Kino Lorber. Just a few. The Cop in Blue Jeans with Jack Palance. I love these Italian crime thrillers. The Cop in Blue Jeans from Raro, this sub-label of Kino Lorber's. It's great. Love it. And then Walk a Tightrope with Dan Duria. Again, they're bringing out the classics. And they sent me one of my favorite Elvis movies, by the way. Black and white, though. King Creole in 4K from Paramount. So that was cool. Nice. Got that from them. And then the last 3 things I got. In Dinorama, one of the great Harryhausen movies, The Seventh Voyage of Sinbad. A lot of stuff online. This has a Cyclops in it. And this is in 4K. And this looks incredible. If you're a Harryhausen fan, this is one of his best movies. And it's really, really... It's really great. There's the Harryhausen Chronicles. This is an extra disc on here. Can't recommend this highly enough. If you like Harryhausen. Now here's something I've been trying to get because I didn't really know it had come out, but it had sold out, and I've been looking for this. And a friend of mine hooked me up with it. The Masters of Cinema, the first of my beloved Antonioni's Ennui trilogy, and I had this actual giant original poster. The Italian poster, which is hanging up at the 3rd floor, the company, and this is in 4K, and this comes to us. Yeah, this is from Eureka. God bless Eureka. I'm sure at some point Criterion might put this out, but of course, it has a reversible cover, and just a great edition of this movie. Very putting it back in the sleeve. Very happy to have it. Which I am happy to have. Now I need the other 2. I need La Ventura and I need the Eclipse for my 4K trilogy. And then my last thing I got this week is easily one of the physical media releases of the year that you won't care a whit about. But Jean Vigo, one of the great directors in the early days of cinema. This is a box set that Curzon put out. And his film L'Atlantique, one of the greatest movies of all time. He died when he was 29 years old. But the movie, I think it came out, was it 34, 36? It's one of the great movies of all time. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous box set. It is just fantastic. And again, it's got a diggy, as you say, a digipack that opens up. And it has his entire filmography. It's got different versions of the movies. Atlantic looks incredible. I didn't watch the whole thing. I just put it in to look at it. It's amazing. Yeah. These Curzon box sets are again, they rival Criterion. They rival anything. This booklet is, again, fantastic, really extensive. Nice. And then it comes with a whole lot of posters, and I won't open them all, and art cards and stuff. And it is.
I don't even remember that set from the news section. So this is quite.
No,
surprising.
well, that's the thing. It came from Curzon. They don't.
Yeah.
Blu-ray.com
Fly a
doesn't.
little bit under the radar, I would say. Rob.
Yes,
A little bit.
and when I didn't even know this existed, and I went to order something else from Curzon from Amazon UK, and saw this, and I'm like, oh my god, I didn't even know this had come out. So, and they've got the Three Colors, Koslowski's Three Colors trilogy coming out in a new box set. They did Wim Wenders. They have Bellatar's box set coming out next month. So look at that gorgeous cover. Nice. Ugh. So this is also goes straight to the top as one of my releases of the year. So
awesome.
There you go. And you know what that means?
Awesome.
Since we both showed our releases, we've got a headliner.
Yeah, he's waiting in the wings.
You know him, you love him. He's Max Allen Collins. Max, welcome to
Hello, Max.
Let's Get Physical Media.
Boy, nice to see you both. I want to report in on my grandson meeting the James Bond movies.
Oh, please do.
Turns out this time I was right. He was a little bit bored with a lot of Thunderball, and he thought it was a falling off. But he loved You Only Live Twice.
Of course, yeah.
Which I know some people don't like that movie or put it down, but I do think it is really a strong one. I really love that movie. Kind of wish Sean would have walked away. He tried to. He tried to walk away.
He did try to.
And then he was, and I'm not going to show him Diamonds Are Forever. But we're taking a little detour, which I'll describe a little bit later, because we're going to take a break from. He said to me, "Can we take a break from James Bond?"
Enough of the 007 stuff.
But Max, you can't go to Diamonds Are Forever anyway because you've got Her Majesty's Secret Service next.
That's a wonderful. I mean, who doesn't like that movie? You have terrible taste if you don't like that movie, and that's objective. That's not even subjective. That's a great movie, but it's kind of long and it's kind of romancy, and there was some stuff
that could be a problem for the young.
For a 10-year-old, I just thought, and it's a long movie.
It's almost I think 2.5 hours.
Yeah, and what the plan now is to show him a Roger Moore and a Timothy Dalton.
Which Roger Moore? There's only one answer as to which Roger Moore you're going to show.
Love Me.
Yes, that's the correct answer.
And then the first Timothy Dalton, and the first Pierce Brosnan.
Those are all great.
And probably not for a while, maybe till he's 12 or 13, to look at Casino Royale.
Dude, show it to him now. He'll love it. Come on.
Okay. Talk me into it.
You gotta go. Twist your arm,
huh? Yeah, you twist. Yeah. I do love that. I do love that movie. Don't love the others as much.
No, because they're not good.
I like them a little better than you, because I view them as a group, kind of a outlier in a weird way for being such huge movies. So anyway, that's the report. But I'm trying to think about anything. Oh, I'm going to do the Odyssey today, and Barbara and I are going to report back to you on just a standard viewing of it, because we don't have easy access. My wife does not like the big sound. So I probably, if I like it, I will be seeing it at an IMAX with my son, because I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah. She doesn't like the big sound?
No. Something about living with a blowhard. I don't know. What could that be?
I was going to say that sounds like a euphemism.
Yeah, it does a little bit.
Yeah, but you're not wrong, Rex. Volume can be a problem, since you can't adjust yourself, and if it's too loud, it can be a problem. Actually.
Yes, and also, I have a little bit of some mobility problems, particularly in the dark. And so we often sit really close. We often sit in the, I don't want to call them the cripple seats, but I just did. We often take a couple of those seats in the front. And to be that close to that big an image and with that sound, that's a little much for some people.
Yeah.
I don't mind it because I like the experiential, aspect of it. But got a feeling this is one I may want to see twice. So I've never seen it. I've never seen anything quite like this. The people who really like it, and then there's this group that, I don't know.
You try not to like it.
It's. But I'm wondering, as someone who doesn't always like Christopher Nolan, do people like it more than they should, and people not like it less than they should? Should they dislike it more than they should? So we're back to objective and subjective again. So I'm ready to give it a view, though. I think we're lucky to have something of that magnitude to enjoy. So most of my stuff today is a lot lesser. It's not the Odyssey. The first thing I'm going to talk about is from Kino, another French noir. This is not one of the box sets. This is a one-off, but it does feature Robert Hussein, who is in many of these movies, and also Michelle Mercier, I guess, and she and Robert Hussein starred in the Angelique movies together. Those are set in the 17th century, so those are historical thrillers, and they were a team. And this was a modern, a modern thing that they did in addition to those movies. The director is a guy named Christian Jacques, and he's best known for period movies. One that I know you guys will both know is Fantan Tulip, which is fairly well known, but he did a lot of things, and this was a rare contemporary film for him, and it comes from the writer was one of the writers was the director, but also someone named Paul Andreotta, who's a mystery writer. So it's a whodunit, and it's pretty interesting. It has a nice noir flashback structure where we see a murder, and then we see the lead character brought in for questioning, and then it flashes back, and there's quite a romantic first act after that with this older man, middle-aged man, falling in love with this young woman who is a medical student who works as a DJ at a nightclub, and they're very much in love, and it's again extremely romantic. However, one thing that's interesting about this movie, and it may be off-putting to some people, is the lead that played by Robert Hussein is kind of a prick. I mean, he's not very nice. He's very successful. He's a very successful attorney, and he's not very nice to his staff, and he's very nice to his mistress. He's a married man, so this is an affair that he's having, and so it kind of challenges your ability to identify with the lead actor. And then it takes a turn into something different, because we're going to find out that the guy who's killed at the beginning, before things flash back, was this girl's previous boyfriend. That's why Robert Hussein is a suspect. It's pretty good. I think I don't think it's a great movie. It seems to me to be. I mean, the French. There's a lot of movies that are very well made by the French, and this certainly is well made. It doesn't have a lot of atmosphere. I liked it. I didn't mind seeing it, but I don't give it a strong recommend. But it's a good murder mystery with, some nice people in it, interesting people in it. But I kind of did like the fact that the lead was kind of a bastard, I mean, my wife who watched it with me was saying her major suspect was the guy that the lead was mistreating so badly at work, his assistant, who he just belittled for no good reason. You know, the system would come up to him with a piece of information. He'd go, yeah. Don't bother me. It's like, why did you hire this guy? So anyway, the second twin. Oh, by the way,
Unlikable boss.
it's
Imagine
also
that.
called seconde verite, which means the second, I guess, the second truth. And would you like to know the meaning of the title, The Second Twin?
Yes, I would very much like to know the meaning of the title, Max. What is it
So
called?
would I. I would love to know the meaning of the title.
Oh, you don't know.
Not a clue.
Okay, well, there you go.
Not a clue.
But it sounds interesting.
The next thing I'll mention is I got a couple of Warner Archive titles. You know, I'm a big Warner Archive guy.
Warner Archive is killing it.
Yeah, and as I say, you know, they don't give you the elaborate packaging. You don't get any chunky boxes out of these guys. George Feltonstein, make sure you've got interesting secondary features. So
That's even better. Isn't that more important? I mean, more important than the packaging is the programming and the content. And I would right, Dietz? Isn't that true? Isn't that true? No, but also George Feltonstein's he's got impeccable taste when it comes to the covers. Warner Archives has the great.
How cool this title cover is, Possessed with Gable and Joan Crawford. And this is a movie. Joan Crawford here. She'd been playing flappers because this is a 1931 movie, so we're talking very early talkie days.
Pre-code too. That's pre-code.
This is a very pre-code movie. In fact, what it's about is, well, I should say, this turned Joan Crawford's career around because she went from being a flapper into being a certain kind of strong modern woman. And she's a factory girl who climbs to, who turns down her factory boyfriend, who asks her to marry him, and she instead goes off to the big city, and she works her way into society, sort of society. She becomes the mistress of Clark Gable, who is
as one does,
and he's a very successful. He's not a divorce attorney, a divorced attorney. So he's been married and he's divorced, and he keeps her. He doesn't hide her, really. Everybody knows that he's living with this woman. It's very, as you said, Rob, very, very pre-code. But then it gets to the point where she can't deal with the fact that she doesn't have, you know, that they aren't really married. She puts up with it for a long time, and it's so, boy, this is beautifully shot. This is not a noir, and there's not even a murder in it, but it has you know, the naughtiness aspect of this is enough to carry you through. And then it comes a point where Gable is going to go into politics, and she realizes she would hold him back. And the plot, the third act plot, hinges upon that. Anyway, they're both great, and he's kind of early in his career. She's billed above him. You can see that there. This Clarence Brown, who's kind of, I don't know, would you say he's kind of forgotten, Rob?
Yes.
I mean, 5 Oscar nominations for Best Director. He directed, well, he did a bunch of kids' movies. This certainly wasn't one of them. But he did The Yearling, which is a really good movie. He did National Velvet. Intruder in the Dust, which we talked about here, which is kind of the precursor to Kill a Mockingbird. Do you remember when we talked about that?
Of course.
One?
Yep.
And a really good movie. Should be better known. He did movies like Anna Christie, so he was a big deal. And the writer of this, which is, I think, significant, was a woman named Lenore Coffey. Now, there were not a lot of major female screenwriters, more than there were directors, but so it's I think it's significant that she wrote this.
He also directed, it was in the news section, The Human Comedy.
Yes.
With Mickey Rooney.
So, I mean, it's a pretty major director.
Yeah, you know what's interesting? He's the kind of guy, you know how I talk about, one of the frustrating things about being in the film pundit YouTube space.
Yes.
Is the knowledge of YouTube pundits really ends. I mean, I would say it hits a wall at 1970, and most things before 1970, unless they're genre related, are completely forgotten. And you want somebody pre-50, you want to talk about pre-1950s, you might as well be talking about the Middle Ages. And
well, I know when I'm trying to do a little bit of preparation for the show, I always wonder, well, are people going to, when I come on, is it going to be time for a bathroom break because we don't know what the fuck he's talking about?
Well, but that's the point of having you here. So maybe you can get people interested in something they wouldn't normally have come across. That's the whole point.
Oh, if it hadn't been for me, DIETER would never have experienced I Love Maria.
I already owned that title, Max, before you told me about it, you know? And we have you here to class up the joint.
But you wouldn't understand why it's good.
We can't have only the douchey presenting titles like this, you know? Like
yes,
the order.
So let's put in context our respective tastes, shall we?
Porn.
I'm in too. Anyway, I really liked Possess Them. Thank you, George. I don't know George. You know George. I've never met George, but I feel like he's a friend because I love his choices.
George is a friend.
Well, I have to tell you, I mean, I saw their release schedule for I think August, and it was, I don't know, it was like a dozen films, and I wanted them all.
Well, yeah, they're putting out banger after banger, in both modern stuff and animated stuff and classics.
Well,
So-
speaking, and I wouldn't say this is a classic.
I mean, Private Benjamin is one of my favorite comedies of all time, and it was just this shitty transfer that would show up on cable, and I don't have it yet. I need to go back, and George said he's going to send me some Warner titles, some archive titles. I got to go back and get because they've been releasing a lot of bangers,
I know.
including Private Benjamin.
Well, we talked about Start the Revolution Without Me last
Start the
week.
Revolution. I went to buy that the other. I couldn't find it or whatever. I don't know. But that's a great. That's a film I only saw once when I was a kid, and because you brought it up, I was like, God, I got to see that again. Not only that, Warner Archive, their bit rates. They have high bit rates. I mean, their shit looks great.
Well, it's sometimes the fact that some of these movies are a little bit short
Yeah.
that allows them to put that bit rate way the hell up there, and I really like.
Well,
that.
and also George brings Mr. Feltenstein. he brings decades. I dare say there's probably no one in the home video space that knows more about where the bodies are. Like, Second Sight would not have had The Hitcher if it wasn't for George Feltenstein. So he's not just working for Warner Brothers, he's working for the history of cinema in general. I mean, he brokered that deal with Arrow, which was just if Warner Brothers, it's so funny to me that Warner Brothers, the people at Warner Brothers, God bless, like Warner UK and what they're doing with Gone with the Wind and stuff, but Arrow, getting Arrow 100 titles or whatever George did, and he told me how he looks forward to seeing what they're doing because the transfers they're doing, the packaging, the extras. The fact that they have new artwork. Forbidden Planet, Soylent Green, Logan's Run. I'm getting Tequila Sunrise. We already got Excalibur. What he brokered is, I don't think, if you were to ask David Ellison and his dad, who want to buy Warner Brothers, if you were gonna say, "Hey, have you heard of George Feltenstein? Do you know what he's done with the entire Warner library? How he's single-handedly increased the value of Warner Brothers as an entity by tens of millions of dollars. All those films are restored now; they can all go up on streaming services. He's the fucking man.
I'm part of this. Not that everybody knows I'm older than the pyramids, but
No, you're not. Why do you got to take such credit? Why are you trying to step on the pyramids, man?
well, I want to. Very good, nicely played. I have to say, but I'm kind of part of the first TV generation, and the first TV generation got a lot of old movies because
Yeah.
none of the studios gave a shit about their movies, and so they were all out there very, very cheap. So I've been watching old movies like they're new movies, as long as I can remember, and so I really have seen movies from the beginning of the talkies through today. And one of the things that, yes, I'm a movie buff, but I'm also sometimes dismissive of movies that I've seen because I didn't appreciate them for whatever reason. Was too young, or was too much of a hippie, or whatever it was at any given time. And Feltenstein, Georgie boy, my pal, he appreciates these movies. He looks at them in context, and he loves these movies in a way that it's even more than I love movies, and that I love movies quite a bit. And so I really think that the love he brings, the enthusiasm he brings to this process, is why we're getting such interesting stuff.
But you know what? He's not just an aficionado. He also brings the technical prowess of like motion picture imaging.
Yeah.
He really what he's able to do from a technical standpoint, and what he insists on, is really what you would think that would be the baseline of the business. But in a world where people don't care, he's at the forefront of the vanguard of people who do.
And an historian. He's an adept historian.
Absolutely.
He knows the context. It leads us into the next one, which is a Warner Archives title, Crack Up, which is a very interesting picture. It's an RKO movie, and RKO, they were kind of like Super Monogram.
God, look at that cover, though. Look at the artwork. How does he find this stuff?
Well, probably it's the poster. It's probably the poster. And now, this is a 1946 movie. So you've got Pat O'Brien and Herbert Marshall, who were Warner Brothers stars, and were either the leads or the second leads in major movies throughout the 30s. Now they're a little past their sell date. So RKO, which was the kind of the mini major, would you say, Rob? But
RKO Radio Pictures was a very cool studio.
Very cool studio. And so we've got Pat O'Brien starring, who would, be the secondary guy in a Warner Brothers movie, and Herbert Marshall, who would getting third billing here, and he was the lead in a lot of movies at Warner Brothers. So they took advantage of that, and this is not a great movie, but it's a very significant film noir. Let me start with the source the source short story here, because I think it will probably light a minor fire under you, Rob.
That's all I need.
It's based on a Frederick Brown short story.
Oh.
You want to tell us who Frederick Brown was? And you can lead with Star Trek if you wish.
Well, Frederick Brown was this is very interesting. So Frederick Brown, in the first season of Star Trek, there is an episode, very famous episode, with the Gorn.
Was it called Arena?
It was called Arena, Max. And what was really interesting about Frederick Brown, and by the way, kids, this is something the thieves and hacks in all of modern Star Trek would never do. So Gene Kuhn, when they were coming up with these, he had written the episode introducing the Gorn, which, by the way, Strange New Worlds completely bastardized, so fuck you, Strange New Worlds. But anyway, I don't want to get off on a rant here, because we get Strange New Worlds coming back, and the promotions, wow, they scream Star Trek's 60th anniversary to me. But so Frederick Brown had written a story that they realized, Gene Kuhn realized he might have been influenced by it.
A story called Arena.
It was called Arena. and what they did was, they were too far down the line producing this, but they went back and they ended up crediting Frederick Brown for the story. They credited him. I don't know how much money they got him, but they did write by him. As opposed to, say, the modern people who run Star Trek, Alex Kurtzman and his ilk, that will steal from a female science fiction writer called Ursula K. Le Guin, her story, Those Who Walk Away from Umalos, but that's neither here nor there. But Frederick Brown was an incredible writer of the time, genre fiction, all kinds of stuff, and he is basically where the origin of Arena, of the Gorn. Not, the Gorn is not in his story, but
I think you could argue that Brown was maybe the major writer. He's not well known today, I understand that, but he was a big mystery writer and a big science fiction writer.
yes, he was.
That's pretty rare. I mean, he wrote The Screaming Mimi, which was a movie with Anita Ekberg that was a crime movie, for example, and his short stories are incredible. Do you know the short story "Don't Look Behind You"?
No.
Well, it's all about about this serial killer, and in the last paragraph, he tells you it's been established that he works at a typesetter's. In the last paragraph, he tells you that he's behind you and you're the next victim. and the title of the story is "Don't Look Behind You." He was Mickey Spillane's favorite writer.
Wow.
Absolutely, Mickey Spillane. And I don't know whether he got him to Dutton, but Dutton, who was Mickey's publisher, was Frederick Brown's publisher of crime fiction. Anyway, now it's based on a short story by him. It's a very interesting film noir. One of the things, again, and I didn't mean this to be thematic, but one of the fascinating things about this movie is Pat O'Brien is the lead, and he's kind of a prick.
Once again,
he's really kind of an asshole, and yet which is not what I mean. He used to play what, Father Flanagan. Father Flanagan was not known as a horse's ass, was he? But and so that's a real interesting door to go through, and it's told as a flashback for a while at least, because the opening is he breaks into this museum, and when it turns out he's a curator at the museum, and so why he had to break in we don't know, but he thinks he's been in a train crash, and he's got this bizarre story that doesn't hold up to any facts that anybody knows, and then we go back and see what he thinks he experienced. So there's some very interesting things going on. It leans heavily into paranoia, so I mean real film noir territory here. It leans heavily into what we now call post-traumatic stress disorder. It's made clear that this guy was in the service and came back a little messed up. So that's very noir, and it's beautifully shot by. Let me see if I get the cinematographer is Robert de Grasse, who I guess is pretty major. Anyway, the director is not that much known for noir, but he did a lot of stuff like the Falcon Mysteries, which is that series with Tom Conway, and before that George Sanders. And he did a few big movies, like he did The Big Street. He did All My Sons, which is a Arthur Miller play. So, but basically I would call him a journeyman director. And Claire Trevor's in it. She's really a staple of these film noir movies. She doesn't have a great role. The movie doesn't do real well by her, but it's very interesting. If you're at all interested in noir, this one is a must. And I think it's really interesting that the protagonist is kind of like an art critic, curator. I mean, there's no private eye, there's no gangster. And there's a murder, but it's very deep into the movie before he does get wanted for murder, basically, and there's the paranoia aspect getting kicked into high gear. Anyway, film noir fans, you need this one. I wouldn't it's not an A, but it's a good, strong, significant B.
Significant B's are always good.
C's and D's are excellent as well.
I love the C and I drop the D.
It's a different cinema score here.
Yeah, that's an interesting cinema score. But are we still talking about Behind the Green Door?
Would you like to talk about it?
No, I saw it in the theater.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
I
pretty.
took my wife to Deep Throat in the theater, and told her it was an educational film.
Well, but you know, it's what's interesting about that is that was a big thing. Couples with people went to the theater to see Deep Throat.
Yeah, I saw, and this isn't a triple X, but we saw Beyond. We always went to Russ Meyer movies.
Oh yeah,
So Barbara and I went to Vixen. We went to Beyond the Valley of the Dolls, and all
but
that
Beyond the
stuff.
Valley of the Dolls is a great movie.
Yeah. No, for me, I have both the Criterion and whoever else put it out.
Oh yeah,
They have different special features.
yeah, they do.
Okay, now speaking not of sex,
Why not?
because I'm going to bring George Feltenstein in again, and it's definitely. And you showed this, Dieter, last week, I think.
Yeah.
This talk about
Correct.
chunky
Breakout
boxes,
hits.
and that we're not in the Green Door now. Rob, want to talk about chunky boxes?
No, it's your breakout hits you're talking about.
This is fabulous.
Jackie
Now,
Chan's breakout hits.
yes, I almost didn't buy this because I thought I'd be interested to see what Dieter's reaction was when I saw this bunch of movies.
Is that the wrong one? I got the picture of the blue one. Is that breakout?
I-
hits?
There were
I-
two different ones. There were two different ones, Rob.
Okay.
Because Arrow had their special edition on their website, and for normal purchase. So there
Got
were
it.
two actually, Rob.
But if you can see in this picture that's on screen now,
Or Rob, I could be wrong. It could be that this one is the Blu-ray version.
It's Max, you
4K.
might have the Blu-ray version. This is the 4K version. I'm not sure.
But wait, there are Blu-rays and 4Ks in the set. This
Yeah,
was
I
just
believe
the
it.
other cover artwork. This was
Oh,
just
okay.
the other cover.
Okay,
artwork.
same thing
Yeah.
but different cover artwork.
Yeah, cover artwork. Yeah.
but and again, I'd like to kind of know what you guys, what your reaction was when I saw the list of films. I was like, it's Drunken Master 2, Rumble in the Bronx, Thunderbolt, Police Story 4, First Strike, Mr. Nice Guy, Who Am I? It's such a conglomeration of movies.
Yeah.
They don't have any
And I
thematic.
said yes to those movies.
Yes.
The only one that I didn't know was actually Thunderbolt.
Yeah. I would say yes to those movies too.
But would we agree doesn't seem to be a immediate thematic unity to this, or
Yes,
I mean,
there
we're
is.
all
Jackie
working
Chan.
out.
It was just from the release schedule. They are really behind. So Drunken Master 2 was the first, and Rumble in the Bronx. So
Yeah.
they were
Yeah,
just
they're-
released
they're
in that
chronological order, but they
in that
don't.
years.
Anyway, when I looked at them, my reaction was, "What are these movies doing together? I have all these movies. Why do I need these movies?" And then as I began to read about it, all of them have alternate versions. So they all will
Right.
have the Hong Kong version.
Yeah.
When
Hong Kong.
when maybe all I had access to before was, the international
International.
cut, which is
Yeah.
American cut. And so I thought I have to have this. And so I bought it. And my son Nate and I have watched Asian stuff together, and we've seen a lot of Jackie Chan. And actually, Barbara has watched a lot of Jackie. She's a big fan too. But I was amazed in seeing Drunken Master 2, which I didn't even kind of remember seeing it. The stunts in that movie, the martial arts action, and the acrobatics that I came away thinking, the movie itself is a lot of the Hong Kong comedy, and I don't mind it now.
Correct.
I'm getting inured to it. But he has to be the greatest acrobatic athlete who ever lived. It's crazy, and the crazy stunts he does. He should have been dead 100 times. So it's a fantastic watch. But I was kind of thinking, because I'd seen Rumble in the Bronx in the theater, and I wasn't anxious to see it again. Seeing seeing the Hong Kong version, lots of differences. Lots of differences. For one thing, it's almost 20 minutes longer.
Yeah.
I mean, so you really haven't seen this movie. It has a different dub for the English. Actually, you're hearing the English speakers. It's not always a good thing, to be quite frank. But because you got to remember that they've been trying to bring Jackie into this market, trying to have him be the next.
For a long time.
I think their flaw was trying to make him, the next Bruce Lee. And Jackie's never been Bruce Lee.
No.
It's a whole different deal. But they had tried with the Big Brawl in 1980.
Right.
They had tried with the Protector in 1985 and failed to break him out. And I do think I saw both those movies in the theater and had been, impressed, but thought they're never going to get this. This guy's never going to work in this market. Well, now, this is 1995. I mean, think about that. 1980 to 1995 is how long it took to break in. That's crazy. So this is Stanley Tong is directing it. He had done things like Super Cop 2 and Police Story 3. Anita Me, I think it's pronounced Me. Anita Me and Francois Yep are co-stars there. They're very beautiful, very, very good. The score is different. Some people prefer the American score, which is this kind of rap music heavy.
Yeah.
I like this one fine. Seems to be what they cut mostly was cultural humor stuff. But they also cut plot and they also cut emotional scenes. Like there's a moment where Jackie Chan gets slapped by the girl, the young woman who runs the grocery store that Jackie's uncle had sold her, and she's realizing she was kind of swindled, and so that was a very a key dramatic moment. Now, is it perfect? Here's the problem, and I think they got around this later, because the later you have Jackie starting to appear in American movies, so that the directors are American, and the casts are predominantly American and chosen by the directors. Because here, it's really clear to me that Stanley, they go over there, they go over to the USA, or in this case, I think they were in Vancouver.
Correct.
They cast.
So it's Rumble in Vancouver, actually, Max.
Yes. Well, it's full of bad white guy acting.
Yeah.
And there's even a scale. You go like, oh, this guy's only terrible. He's not horrific, but you know what? Who cares? The action is so incredible in this movie. There is jaw-dropping action in this movie, and some of it isn't even involving Jackie. It's just incredibly well staged. So I think it's too expensive to say it's worth the price of admission with a box set of this size, but I'm sure not sorry about this, and I'm looking forward to seeing all of these different Hong Kong versions of these movies. So anyway, that's my take on that.
Yeah,
it's fair to say that the Hong Kong version is substantially better.
The interesting thing, like I said, Max, with Thunderbolt is actually the international version, or is the longer version. There's only a shorter Japanese cut that is in the box set. So the Japanese version is actually shorter, considering Thunderbolts. And what I like about Jackie, like you said, it is the action, and often it's the small stuff. Like in Rumble in the Bronx, when he jumps through the shopping cart. We all know how a shopping cart works, and I don't know how many takes he did that take with the shopping cart, the small stuff. And there's always stuff you can remember from his films. In Rumble in the Bronx, the hovercraft at the end was insane. In Dragon Master 2, like you said, Max, it always ups the ante, considering over the runtime of the movie. And for me, there's always stuff I remember from those movies. And it was nice to see that finally with Rumble in the Bronx, he had his breakout hit in America. And Max, if you haven't gone to it, First Strike, of course, or no, Mr. Nice Guy features, of course, Richard Norton, was the bad guy in Black Creek, one of the big stuntmen,
I like
which
Richard Norton.
unfortunately
I like
is not
Richard Norton a lot.
around with us anymore. But First Strike has great stuff in it. So I'm looking forward to the other three. I only have seen the first three of the set.
Well, Dieter, I noticed when my son and I, and Barb to some degree, were kind of binging on Jackie when you start at like the early 80s and 90s where we were catching up with stuff that we hadn't seen. When you see this stuff one after another, you see what a master he is and was and is in using what's there.
Exactly.
I mean,
that's specific Jackie, using stuff from the environment.
Yes, absolutely.
In the fight.
So I'm anyway. I'm very glad.
Just quickly, the scene in Dragon Master 2, just when he catches the fan, to get some air, he probably did 30 takes to get just that 2 seconds when he catches it at the exact moment that he needs to do.
Well, one of the delights, and this is going to take us back around to James Bond.
Yeah,
that's what we watched. My son and I watched that with Sam, the 10-year-old. I don't think he'd seen Jackie Chan before, and he was spellbound. And one of the funny things is he was laughing at the bad English language stuff.
Yeah. Certainly.
And then got drawn completely back into each action sequence. And then
because actually, considering Rumble in the Bronx Max, the scene in the sideways when he gets hit with a bottle is actually a pretty grim scene.
That was startling. Startling to me, and it was to Sam. But the other thing that was interesting was because he'd not seen this before, when he got to see the violent outtakes, how badly Jackie was getting hurt to pull some of these things off, and that was just riveting to him. And one of the very
we all loved those blooper segments from Jackie.
But there's a moment in the bloopers there where he's just walking up some stairs and he trips, and he trips on the stairs just like you or I or Rob would trip on the steps. And it was so fucking endearing. I couldn't believe it. Anyway, I love this. I love Jackie, and you'll be hearing. I'll be reporting, I think, on these.
Nice.
At least the ones that have the crime element.
Nice.
Yeah. So anyway.
Well, Max, before we let you go, we have a lot of super chats.
Okay.
If you'll stick around, we got tons of super chats, and let me fire it away. Jason Nelson says, thoughts on Az's take that verisimilitude is dead. You mean Az like heel versus babyface Az? I don't think that's true. But he and I have disagreed before, but I would have to get into it. I would have to see it. Video Hunter D says, Gods of Egypt is socially acceptable now. Woohoo. Okay, first of all, as any astute cinephile knows, Gods of Egypt is a historical version of the planetoid that Dark City takes place on. So their Egypt is not our Egypt. When Jeffrey Wright was carrying the sun across the sky, it's the Dark City planet. Just remember that, where those people come from. But
someone making up his headcanon again.
It's right there. It's in the text of the film. Come on. Real Thomas Logan says, Nolan's Odyssey in 1570 IMAX is fantastic. Poignant storytelling, real location. Not his best film. Not even top 5. Lacks the profundity of Interstellar and the brilliance of Oppenheimer and The Dark Knight. 9 out of 10.
Okay.
Swift of Horror says, Happy Sunday, Rob the Heartthrob. Rob the Heartthrob and D-Money Deutschland. I'm headed to California Tuesday, San Diego Comic-Con in L.A. for my Horror 365 group. Let's link up for a drink. We can do that. I'll be at Comic-Con on Thursday, Friday, and Sunday. Maybe I'll go Saturday. I don't know yet. I'm not sure. Swift of Horror goes on to say, would also love to talk horror and White Devils with you on our live stream. Do you have an email address where we can reach you? Yes. Here's my email address on Robservations. You can always see it. It's RM Burnett, so it's RMBURNETT 1701 at gmail.com. So you can find me and just put Robservations in the subject heading so I know. Straight Edge Knight says, yo, Rob, off topic, but just curious, which Batman movie do you prefer, The Dark Knight or The Batman? As much as I enjoyed The Batman, I much prefer The Dark Knight, and I think it's the far superior movie. Well, I'll throw this out to the three of us. I love The Dark Knight, but it doesn't have a great third act. I think the problem with suddenly you've got the two boats and the Joker's doing and it's like this third act. I'm like, okay, I do prefer The Dark Knight to the Batman only because the Heath Ledger of it all is so great. The Joker of it all is so great. But I think the Batman is a terrific film. What do you guys think?
Totally. I would actually say, Rob, I have not a favorite of the two. It becomes a little bit of a mood thing.
Yes,
which I'm kind of in the
100%.
mood thing of I'm watching the Batman or the Dark Knight. They're a little bit different from the mood, I would say. So it's actually great that there are different interpretations of Batman. So I love them actually pretty equally.
I also think
because, like you said, Rob, the Dark Knight has perhaps the not so good third part, but I think the third part of the Batman for me is strong when he leads the people out of the flooded area. This was one great visual for me.
I do think that Christopher Nolan, I'm a big fan of his early movies. Yeah. I think Inception's by far my favorite Nolan movie. Nolan is he is a man, I think, that ultimately is too professorial and too clinical for his own good. He's not a guy that went and got hammered in college. I mean, Christopher Nolan, when I'm watching his movies, I feel that they're all calculated, as my friend Alvaro said, in a lab somewhere. He's
not wrong.
Where that guy needed to have more drunken nights where he hooked up with somebody he'd just met. I mean, he's too. And when you watch his movies, I think The Prestige, there's an argument to be made that movie's one of his best films. And when I watch Oppenheimer and I watch Dunkirk, I really respect them, but I feel like I'm watching a clinician work, as opposed to there's an imbalance of passion. There's an imbalance of human interaction. I need somebody that wants to tear a woman's underwear off with his teeth, and that isn't Christopher Nolan.
Is it Rob Burnett?
I make sure. It depends. I mean, sometimes women are wearing underwear you don't want to tear. Something a little La Perla, You got to make sure you know your lingerie before you're going to tear someone's underwear off your teeth.
Bet you can't eat just one.
Oh, isn't that true? Yeah. But I do love my Lay's potato chips.
I actually like the Batman movie quite a bit.
Oh, nice.
But then I also like the movie Batman with Adam West. So we may be having two different discussions.
but both of those movies have a passion and a wit to them.
I really did like the Batman. It maybe bit off a little more than it could chew, but I thought they really went up to the edge of what you could get away with and not be too serious. And it was tricky.
Yeah.
Tricky. If you get, to me, my problem with the Nolan movies is they take themselves too seriously.
Way too serious. And The Dark Knight Rises is a movie that is just too. It's like I love the first 50 minutes of The Dark Knight Rises, And then the rest of it I'm not interested in. Once Bruce Wayne loses all of his wealth because one guy bursts into the stock exchange, I'm like, come on. Or the cops are stuck underground for 100 days, and yeah, it's but the first 50 minutes are bangers. Major Chai Chai says, it just tears me up that I can't be at San Diego Comic-Con this year, but I'll be there in 2027. Give a kiss to Horace, Sonny, Julian, and Corey for me. It's just like a woman to make me want to kiss a bunch of dudes, but I'll do that. 6 Scale Mafia has been, Anthony has been a member for 3 years. Falling Down 4K by Arrow is shipping Tuesday for me. I am not economically viable. Andy Hayes has been a member for 34 months. Richard Curtis sends in a 50-pound super chat and says, those Curzon box sets are GOAT. I got the 4 Psycho set by Arrow for 75 pounds. I think I did well. That's a schnäppchen. Hi, Max. You Only Live Twice is so much better than Thunderball. Definitely skip Diamonds, and I would show all the Roger Moores, excluding For Your Eyes Only. How can you exclude For Your Eyes Only? You don't have it, and we don't have it. That's détente, General. Come on, For Your Eyes Only. Although the Bill Conti score is questionable, although I kind of like it.
And the German title For Your Eyes Only, Rob, is Deadly Mission.
Oh my God. Wow. Richard Curtis says DIETER, Spain for the win.
Yeah. They are the favorites in 15 minutes, so probably yes. But who knows?
Justin Toner's been a member for 65 months. Richard Curtis says, I love you, Max, but I've not read one of your books, but that will change. Your taste seems pretty outstanding. I embrace all of your words. Max, if someone had never read one of your books before and you wanted to introduce them to the world of Max Allan Collins, what book would you suggest they read?
Here's what I would do. I'd read the most current book in the Nathan Heller series, which is called Too Many Bullets, primarily because that gets me some royalties today, as opposed to yesterday, because I'm living on today's money. But before you watch that, you need to listen to a little thing I like to call True Noir. That's a Robert, is that an introduction to Nathan Heller?
This is a total introduction to Nathan Heller. And by the way, this comes from a British. You can get this from Amazon UK because Skyboat and whatchamajigger put this out. So,
because True Detective, which is the source.
Yeah, this is the origin. This is Nathan Heller's origin story.
It's an origin story.
Yeah. Huh.
And I think we did a bang up job delivering it in that new format.
I tend to agree.
But
so
there's also a pretty good book right now called Return of the Maltese Falcon. I don't know if it's within anyone's grasp at the moment.
I've got your back, buddy. Right there. Sequel.
But the Maltese Falcon is my favorite mystery novel. All right.
So you wrote a sequel to that, which is incredible. You know what though? Supreme Justice.
Have you read that one?
Yeah. Dude, I fucking love that book. Tell the folks at home. So tell us, when did you write that book? And just give us a brief plot synopsis, because I think about this book a lot. I really want to make this movie.
I think I had the idea, 15 years ago, and then I did it. I'm going to guess that, I don't remember how long it's been, but it's been maybe 10 years now since it first came out, maybe even more. But the basic premise is that someone is killing Supreme Court justices to change the political nature of the court. The only thing I would do different if I were writing it today is I would let the bad guy get off. I would, because I wanted to show that somebody, was bigger than just politics. Now I'm not so sure.
The real Thomas Logan says Dieter must now walk the plank of cinema shame. Nolan finally shoots an entire movie in 1:43:1, and Dieter watches it cropped to shit. Ask Dieter why he didn't watch The Odyssey at his nearest 1570 IMAX. Wait, we can't hear you. What happened? Hang on. Wait a minute. Did I do that? No. We're still there.
Well, I have to walk the plank too, because I'm going to see it today, and
We've lost Dieter's audio. How can that be? Hold on a second. Maybe, did I hit the wrong button? No. Something happened. Nope. See, look at Thomas Logan has shamed Dieter into silence.
Am I back, Rob?
You're back now. There you go.
But not very loud.
Boy, Thomas
It dropped the audio here. Why? I have no
Thomas
idea.
Logan, man. He shamed you. He took away
I know,
your voice.
I know.
He shamed you for real. So why didn't you go see it your nearest 70 millimeter?
Simple. I hate driving 2 hours to that place because I'm not big into driving that long. Watching a 3-hour movie, drive 2 hours back. So that takes up a little bit of time. Secondly, during the week, it's a no-go because I have to work during the week. So there's only left Saturday and Sunday. And like in the States, the shows are almost not fully sold out, but the best places are taken. So perhaps in 2 to 3 weeks, when it simmers down a little bit, I will probably take my trip to Karlsruhe. And that's why, Thomas, you didn't get the review yesterday, because you knew you would be upset. So you didn't get a review yesterday for the movie.
Let's remind everyone that Christopher Nolan did not forbid the movie to be shown in these other formats.
Correct, Max.
So
no, he made his own versions in those formats.
So if it's an official Christopher Nolan version, why can't I watch it?
And there were more in the theater than just me,
That was an interesting philosophical question. Paul Brunato says Warner archives Blu-rays and 4Ks. Oh, wait, do you want to keep going?
No, it's okay.
Paul says Warner archives Blu-rays and 4Ks are fantastic as George and his team keep American movie classics alive and thriving in physical media, and you gotta love it. We do. You do have to love it, by God. 100%. Justin Toner says, hi guys, I'm in Rochester, New York, and our IMAX is one of the few that has 70 millimeters, so I saw The Odyssey in IMAX 70 millimeter yesterday, and it was sold out. The picture and sound were fantastic, and I thought the movie was great. It's good. Richard Curtis says, Dieter, I see Fall and Rambo box sets behind you, but is the other item There Will Be Blood?
No, Richard. The other item is actually Oppenheimer. Just for the right moment.
Wow.
So the third one is not There Will Be Blood. It's the Oppenheimer special edition. So let me just.
Was that Warner Brothers? No, it was Universal.
Yeah, Rob. No. Yeah, correct. He switched to Universal. How could we forget that?
Yeah, it's Universal.
Correct. Yeah.
I need to get that. That's good. I like it.
The camera.
So there you go. Richard Curtis goes on to say, Max, I will say that declaration of my love was sent while you were unsure if people liked your contribution to this channel. That being said, I still love you, man. I want to read novelizations. Well, it's just so funny. I have a Max Allan Collins novelization right here. Waterworld. Come on. And my Waterworld novelization is signed. Just saying. Just saying.
Well, I would recommend among the novelizations, Saving Private Ryan, Wind Talkers. I was so excited to do a John Woo movie.
I can't believe you've novelized Spielberg and John Woo.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't believe if they had known how, I thought I would do it for free. And Daylight is very well regarded.
Correct. I wanted to remember you.
Yeah.
Daylight.
Yeah, but the funny thing is, we've got, and I haven't got this gig yet. I may not get it, but I've put myself up for this new Mummy movie with Brendan Fraser because I haven't done a novelization for a long time, 15, 20 years. But I wrote The Mummy Returns, the Mummy and the Tomb of the Who the Hell Knows.
The Scorpion King.
Yeah, and I wrote The Scorpion King. So I did all 4 of them. I have to do this novelization if anybody does it. I just have to.
Because you told us, Max, they are one of the most books that you did that get the most feedback.
Yeah, those first 2, The Mummy and The Mummy Returns, I mean, I get a letter or 2 every week from somebody begging me for a copy, and because they go for 100 to 150 up.
Dude, you have to use that as leverage. They have to do a Max Allan Collins Mummy box set.
Well, I've asked them to already.
All the new, and do them in the bigger digest versions because no one's making paperbacks anymore.
Yeah, I think they'd sell some. I think if they did a box with all the novelizations in it, and one of the funny things is, I may have mentioned this before, but if you go to quotations and say, what are the great quotations from Max Allan Collins? Which, I admit how ridiculous that sounds, just on the face of it. But most of the great quotations for me are from the book The Mummy. And they're all kind of good. I'm like, oh, did I think of that, or is that from the script? I don't remember.
Well, there you go. I think that's a fine idea. You should push for that. Somebody should do it.
And do not read the G.I. Joe novelization.
Oh.
That was the one that crushed my soul and made me stop doing novelizations.
Wow. Wow. Uh-oh.
Okay.
When you write a scene and have no idea what happened in that scene, it's time to move on.
You know what
writing gobbledygook can save you.
Do you know what I didn't do? I just realized this. I didn't look to see if there were any tips.
Okay.
And Stubble McShave sent in a tip. Stubble McShave says, I just got back from watching The Odyssey. That was a full meal. I need to sit down now and loosen my belt. I really enjoyed it, but it'll probably be a while until I watch it again. And Cinema 13, this was for Max, says, Max, any thoughts on Tightrope, Clint Eastwood's darkest, most adult movie?
I liked it at the time. I haven't rewatched it. I always kind of thought it should have been a Dirty Harry.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Because the later Dirty Harrys are kind of disappointing. You know, the first one is very challenging. And the second one is challenging. Then it gets sketchy. And that character should be used in something like Tightrope.
Very, very interesting. Yeah. Our old friend Alexander Wilson is here.
Ooh.
And Alexander Wilson says, from Deadline's data on The Odyssey, 55% of the ticket-buying audience was between 18 to 34.
Wow.
Which shows that Nolan has cultivated and maintained the young millennial and Gen Z demo. What are your thoughts on that? This stat surprised me. Well, as I've said often, I think Gen Z's favorite movie is Interstellar, by far. And I think that Thomas Logan is a perfect example of this. I don't think he's quite Gen Z, but I think the younger generation reveres Christopher Nolan is their filmmaker. He belongs to them, and I think his early work, like all the way up to, like, I love The Prestige, I love Memento, I like Following, but really The Dark Knight, and maybe to a certain extent Batman Begins, but it's The Dark Knight onward. It's The Dark Knight, it's Interstellar, it's Inception, and beyond. And what really cemented it was Barbenheimer. Barbenheimer was that event, showed Gen Z, and Nolan is the Gen Z's guy. So I don't find that surprising at all. And Alexander Wilson says, also the box office attackers who I follow have the Odyssey tracking at 30 million on Monday, because a lot of people are skipping showtimes around the World Cup and are watching it Monday instead. This may be a 300 million movie by next weekend. Oh, I think that's easy. I mean, based worldwide, 100%. 100%. And go ahead.
Just quick from the live chat, Rob. Johnny Rando USA says, I highly recommend Max series Quarry. Great character, cool books, fantastic series. From the live chat. And
he's got another book coming out from Quarry.
Quarry's Reunion. It's the 50th anniversary Quarry.
That's amazing.
Came out 1976 when I was a young whippersnapper.
Alexander.
I'd like to say that's my favorite series next to Nathan Heller of what I've done in my career.
Alexander Wilson goes on to say, I graduated from Catholic high school, and we had to read the Odyssey to graduate, and so many people across America have had to read it that the online discourse wasn't going to work because they didn't really know how many people had to actually read it. That's very funny. But it's funny. I have to say that, I too read the Odyssey when I was in high school, and I would not consider myself a Homeric scholar, but it is amazing how many people. I'm sorry, I just don't believe half the discourse that I've heard is based on people who are Homeric scholars themselves, or who even read the Odyssey. Half the people who read the Odyssey when I was in high school read the Cliff's Notes. No one even knows what Cliff's Notes are anymore, but they were. Alexander Wilson goes on to say, Rob, you were on some panel that was discussing Odyssey that was completely disingenuous. You had a guy who said they would never race swap in the Bible, or Jesus has never read the Bible because Jesus' description doesn't sound like Willem Dafoe.
Probably the versus panel, Rob. Probably.
No, that was it, and you should see the really interesting. Alexander, this is interesting, Alexander. Your question for DIETER, Alexander Wilson says, it's the 35th anniversary of the reunification of Germany, and in my organization I work for owns a piece of the Berlin Wall, and I would like to know if there are any good German news or documentaries from their POV that are worth watching.
Unfortunately, I can't recommend or mention any documentary about it. I would have to dig a little bit about it.
Well, he goes on. This
give you a recommendation.
Alexander goes on to say, also the Berlin Wall was found in a junkyard in some town in Germany. It was going to be crushed and turned into rubble, and we were able to rescue it before it was destroyed. So they must have a pretty big piece. DIETER, do the German people not care about the Berlin Wall?
Well, it was a long piece, that wall, Perhaps not everyone wants a piece of it. What can you do? Then the rubble gets moved away.
I mean, the Berlin Wall was pretty big. It was pretty
long.
Rob. I know,
it was not just Rob doing a little bit gardening in his backyard,
Yeah, I mean, I did see Wings of Desire and Far Away So Close, which are those two movies more than anything are about the
great on your new one, Rob, Possession, featured the wall greatly too.
The Berlin Wall featured Possession in a lovely way. But I think I think maybe one of the great two movies, the duology ever made about the Berlin Wall are Wings of Desire and Far Away So Close. Which reminds me that I never got the Curzon box set of Wim Wenders, which I need to get because I only have Far Away So Close on DVD, and I need to get that box set, but it's pricey.
And isn't it, Rob, just, if I can remember correctly, just Blu-rays, or am I wrong?
It is just Blu-rays, but I still need. I would buy the whole box set just to get Far Away So Close, but I never have any disposable. It's too much disposable income for me.
Yeah,
for me. So these were interesting questions, Alexander. I want to thank you for those questions. Those are good. Now, listen.
Need to do a deep dive into it.
Listen, I think I'm going to call this because I know you want to go watch this game. The whole world wants to go watch the World Cup. It is 12 o'clock. The game is starting. We can get to the news next week. We got through what we have today. There wasn't that much news this week, except I do want to just, because people are going to ask about the headline of this episode. So let's get to the headline.
Because I have no idea, Rob, about this series. I have no idea.
I figured you wouldn't. So for anyone who, Bronson Pinchot, who everybody remembers from both Risky Business and as Serge in Beverly Hills Cop. Serge, my name is Serge. Achmel, cover this up. This is like the breast of a dog to scrub for the customer. It's not sexy, it's animal. Bronson Pinchot starred in a show called Perfect Strangers. It was a sitcom. They are releasing, I don't know why this was the lead story on Blu-ray.com, but they are putting out the complete series, Perfect Strangers, on Blu-ray. It's a sitcom, and there you are, Dieter. I figured his name was BALKI, and he had a strange foreign accent. And if they ever remade Perfect Strangers, I should have had somebody do a mock-up cover of you and I on the box cover. But I wanted to just point out, there it is.
Thinking about, Rob, if that series ever traveled to Germany, I have no idea.
I'm sure they would have a different name for it.
Yeah, I'm sure of it, but I can't remember that series playing at all, but here in Germany.
Yes, Max?
From when is that series, Rob? When?
Like the 80s.
80s, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there a show next week?
There is no show next week.
Show.
So we're going to have to wait. I will be at San Diego Comic-Con. We're doing our panel. Why we're still doing this panel after more than 20 years, 25 years now. Starship Smackdown. We are doing Starship Smackdown yet again. So if you want to come to San Diego Comic-Con, you can find me on Sunday. I think we're 2:30 to the end of the convention. More ships, more quips. That's all I can say. Yeah. Starship Smackdown. If you know, you know. If you don't, there is an NPR story. If you look up NPR, one starship to rule them all, you can hear an NPR story on Starship Smackdown. I am one of the founding members of one of the most ridiculous convention panels of all time. I can't believe it. So there will be no show next week.
And when is the panel about the independent movies?
That's on Friday. The independent film panel that I'll be on. Chris Gore's panel, Film Thread versus. It's going to be a good panel, I think. And then I have two panels on Thursday. I have one panel about Canadian variant comics that's actually at the Marriott. And then I'll be doing a panel on the films of 1986. So,
Rob, I will not be there this year, but please say hello for me to all our mutual friends, which is a long list.
Deeply saddened. By the way, one more thing. I just want to rifle through it. Criterion did announce their Kubrick set just very quickly. These are the covers of all the discs based on Kubrick's own boxes of research. Here's the actual box itself. Here's the stuff in it. I can't wait to get this. I'm telling you, it's going to be some good stuff. But that's part of the news. I'll tell you more later. I guess in 2 weeks you'll find out. It'll all be old news. We'll give you new news then. But, I mean, can you believe it? In 2 more weeks, in 14 days, we're going to be in August. Yeah. Do you know what? There's a possibility I might miss 2 shows. Oh no, maybe not. Because maybe because the Star Trek. I'll be at this. No, I'll be next week. The week after is good, I think.
Okay.
Because the Star Trek convention, the 60th anniversary Vegas Star Trek convention, I'm going to be there too. So
there's always a possibility, Rob. If you want, we can do it Saturday.
Yes, that's true
that's
too.
More fitting. Okay.
Actually,
so
you know what? I will keep you informed. Maybe we'll do the show next week on Saturday. Maybe we'll do the show next week. Okay.
So on my end, jede Person, die du triffst, hat eine Geschichte zu erzählen, die du noch zu hören hast. Alles, was du tun musst, ist zuhören.
Every person you meet has a story to tell that you have yet to hear, and all you have to do is listen. And I want to thank everybody for generously supporting this channel via Super Chats and Tips. I want to thank Max and Dieter for being here. Everybody go get Max's hardcover of The Return of the Maltese Falcon. Read the first one first. And then, of course, if you can, get True Noir. The Blu-ray is coming. And all of that. I want to thank you all. Spain, Argentina, you can still probably bet on it on Kalshi or Polymarket, if whatever you want to do. You can do that if you want. And Max, enjoy the Odyssey. And I can't wait to hear what the young one thinks about Spy Who Loved Me or
and tell me, Max, if it worked in the normal standard aspect ratio.
Oh yeah, uh-oh.
Don't tell Thomas Logan that you watch it in standard aspect ratio.
We're all
I'm
in
in
trouble.
standard definition. I wouldn't dare go out in 4K.
Thanks to the moderating staff. Thanks to all of you for watching. Now everybody go enjoy the final World Cup game. The final Argentina versus Spain. It's gonna be a banger. All right, everybody.
And now here they have a bigger show planned in the halftime.
Oh yeah,
there's a big USA.
There's a big halftime show.
USA
yeah.
Club.
And isn't this like in New York somewhere? It's.
I have no idea, Rob, where the final actually takes place, considering playing wise. I have no idea.
Well, you guys go watch, enjoy. I was able to get in on that Rambo pre-order again, by the way, just so you know.
Oh, nice.
And
don't forget, Rob, not completely. Just remove it as far as you can go.
I know that.
Don't,
but they also put up the
No
Nightmare on Elm Street Steelbook box set.
Yeah.
They put it up again.
It's available again. Okay.
Click.
Nice.
I wasn't going to get it, but, I saw it. I'm like, it was a Pavlovian response.
Yeah,
I got it.
But the Dream Child, unrated.
I know.
Unrated.
It's true. And I worked on that set for a day.
Yeah, that's why I mentioned it, Rob, because it's one of my favorite nightmare movies. The Dream
It's
Child.
good. It's good. All right, boys. See you guys next week, maybe.
See you.
And that was it, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks to everybody. And I'm going to send everybody away.